going to go back to that breaking news in Stevens Point as a fire breaks out in an area home. News 9's Adriana Daniel is live at the scene. Adriana, can you tell us what you're seeing out there? Now, we just got indication of 20,000. We are up to 20,000 power outages, 5,000 in Wausau, Melissa. Tonight, multiple crashes result in one dead in the greater Wausau area, both happening just miles apart, and we now know they are connected. News 9's Natalie Spila was at both scenes. She joins us live now in Wausau with the latest. Natalie. The scene is still very active. As you can see behind me, people are still gathering outside, residents actually, to assess the damage for themselves. A lot of people still just coming home from their work days. Now, the fire happened earlier this afternoon, and it tore through a row of detached garages behind this apartment complex. Those heavy rains, there's a traffic alert we want to let you know about. State Road 64 is impassable in Lincoln County. Brad, 41-year-old Jesus Contreras Perez of Mosinee made that request in court today, with the judge agreeing to a hearing now set for November 30th. Contreras Perez is facing first-degree intentional homicide and other charges in Cassandra Aon's disappearance. Prosecutors argue that Contreras Perez was stalking Aon before reportedly killing her and hiding her corpse. Just into the newsroom tonight, according to the Antigo Police Department, a death investigation is underway. They're digging deeper into illness allegations after several area residents say they got sick after attending a Minnesota Supercross event. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathryn Halvorsen. Parents even telling us their little girl was hospitalized with levels of carbon monoxide in her system. Fallout continues over last night's Oscars fiasco. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathryn Halvorsen.
And I'm Brad Hansen. It was the slap heard round the world.
Residents are discussing the record-breaking rise in rent prices. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathryn Halvorsen. And those prices have made it hard to navigate the market in our own backyard. News 9's Sabrina Lee spoke with both landlords and residents. She joins us live in the newsroom with their concerns. Sabrina? Well, masking in schools continues to be a polarizing issue. Tonight at 10, a bus driver shortage is impacting kids' ride times. The Stevens Point area school district says they're in desperate need of drivers, in part because COVID-19 quarantine for some of the team members. An area family is sharing their story after a young girl became sick last month with what's being called flu-rona. It's where someone tests positive for the flu and COVID at the same time. News 9's Isaac Dienison is live in studio with what they've learned since then. Chicago students are headed back to the classrooms tomorrow for the first time in a week. The Chicago Teachers Union and the city reaching a tentative agreement. And Republicans who control the Wisconsin State Assembly approved a set of bills that would ban vaccine passports. The measure will likely be vetoed, though, by Democratic Governor Tony Evers. Last year, he vetoed a GOP bill that would have banned public health officials from requiring people to get vaccinated. The village of Weston is exploring ways to deal with staffing shortages. The HR committee there is considering perks to recruit new workers and retain current ones. Another Milwaukee police officer has been shot tonight near the Marquette University campus. It marks the third shooting of an officer in just 2 weeks in the city. Tonight, we are warning departments across central Wisconsin are mourning the loss of a Merrill police officer. Officer Riley Kurtz served for 3 years with the Merrill Police Department. Chief Corey Bennett saying he died from medical complications. After Wausau police say he shot a 38-year-old in the abdomen. It happened at the home of Mason's ex-girlfriend, with the victim telling police Mason kept saying, quote, "You ruined my life," while pointing the gun at him. First responders want you to put your phone down when passing a crash on the side of the road. In December, Governor Tony Evers signed into law a bill aimed at protecting law enforcement, first responders, and highway workers from people trying to take pictures of accident scenes. A man is dead after reportedly running into a road crew work truck this afternoon in Portage County. According to WisDOT, the 30-year-old driver was on Highway 10 near County Road Q outside of Amherst when the road dipped to one lane because of construction. An electric space heater is what investigators say sparked a deadly fire in New York City. It has now been 3 years since Jamie Kloss escaped the home of the man who kidnapped her after killing her parents. 10 developments out of Marshfield, where police have now removed barricades that have been up for several hours following an active incident. Melissa, U.S. Representatives Gwen Moore of Wisconsin and Ilhan Omar of Minnesota writing a letter to Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin after receiving calls alleging a variety of abuses and poor living conditions. Those include staff being rude or condescending to refugees and calling them, quote, animals, either directly to them or to other staff members. Hugh Isaac, Marathon County residents will get the chance to weigh in on a proposal to lower penalties for possession of small amounts of marijuana. Right now, people arrested with 25 grams or less of the drug face fines. Residents at a Stevens Point mobile home park are dealing with sewage backlog, forcing city officials to step in. Over 8,000 gallons of sewage waste was drained from the park's holding tank after city officials found it overflowing a few weeks ago. You can't see it, but it's sure to wake you up tomorrow morning as cold temps continue to creep in. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathryn Halvorsen. Despite the bitter cold tonight into tomorrow, a sigh of relief going into the weekend. Tonight, the temperatures are falling and falling and falling. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kathryn Halvorsen.
Incredible.
In Bucks and Six, I've been saying it nonstop, and they finally made it happen.
I know. I hear it all morning with Nina. I moved 60-degree views and literally hang off the side of a skyscraper.
My hands are sweating right now.
I was going to say, you look a little nervous over there, Kathryn.
To be honest, I'm terrified. That's going to be a big no for me.
For $5 while supplies last.
That's one way to scare your significant other.
Absolutely. A
Stevens Point family is keeping the mood light this holiday season. This is a look at Mulaney Colt's front yard filled with 15 inflatable cows. At 9, a Canadian company is moving forward with plans to drill for gold and copper in north central Wisconsin. Greenlight Metals of Toronto has filed reports to explore 2 deposits in Taylor and Marathon counties. Melissa, Jim Harris is the man behind the From Laos to America Museum in Wausau and the We Help War Victims Foundation. His interest in the culture began when he served as a teacher and principal at Weston Elementary School, where he had taught some of the first Hmong students to come to central Wisconsin.
I just got this sick feeling in my stomach.
Libby Radice was a freshman in college when she got the call her former teacher had been arrested.
Travis Grau was my mock trial coach for all 3 years of high school. He was a mentor to me, really just someone I looked up to a lot in the building.
A place you're supposed to feel safe, a person you're supposed to trust.
He had used that relationship that he had built to lure me into his desk.
Shattered in an instant.
You know, after watching my videos, I was in shock. I could hear myself speaking to him about things that were important to me in these videos.
He was trusted, and to hear that was just the ultimate betrayal.
According to the district, Greil spent nearly 15 years employed at DC Everest. Court records say it wasn't until February of last year several students came forward with concerns over an iPad.
I'll never be able to unsee what I saw in that footage.
The crime hiding in plain sight. In court records, police say they found 132 upskirting videos and photos of 81 female students, all stored without their knowledge.
It was just still this sick gut feeling I had.
Victims say Greil's case prompted a sickening sense of violation and a lingering fear that no place is truly off limits.
He was purposely manipulating me and doing pretty awful things.
And while his sentencing gave some sense of closure, the impact felt is far from over.
Because that's real life. These girls are going to trauma counseling. These girls are dealing with PTSD. These girls can't, they feel uncomfortable around male professors. This was life-changing for a lot of people.
And the experience left some students angry, saying they wish more was done and talked about.
I felt so depressed and so sad, and it was like no one was listening. That's just the hardest part. Like, I just want to hear. I want to know that it's not going to happen again.
But in a letter sent to parents and students, the district explained that they asked staff members not to discuss the situation in classroom settings based on advice from counseling agencies. Those counseling services were also made available to students and their families. District leaders encouraging students to always come forward if something doesn't feel right.
Our win is if they come and talk to us, and not far behind that is if they reach out anonymously and say, hey, this is going on.
Reporting for News 9, I'm Kathryn Halvorsen. Tomorrow, her family will lay the 26-year-old mother to rest. And tonight, we are hearing from friends and family as they remember Hannah with a message from her loved ones in the midst of the tragedy.
Hannah was a very kind, sweet, caring. She would do anything for anybody. She loved everybody so much and had a heart of gold.
A devoted mother.
She was an amazing mother. She would have stopped the world for her daughter. That's truly who Hannah was.
Daughter, cousin, and friend is how those who knew her will remember Hannah Miller.
She was such a bright light. And the first tattoo us three actually got, she went and got happiness tattooed on her foot. And she always said, like, no matter her situation, she was choosing to be happy. And she was so fearless.
A contagious personality coupled with a bright smile are now just lingering memories.
I never turned her back on anybody. She had so much love in her heart, and she shared all of her talents with the world. She made sure she was great at figure skating at state level and taught children all the time. She was amazing, just a kind person that truly didn't deserve this.
The 26-year-old taken away June 30th after she was allegedly shot by her former boyfriend and left on the side of the road near Highway 8 in Pelican.
It's devastating to know that somebody has that much hate and malice in their heart.
Family and friends say Christopher Anderson was abusive toward Miller before her death.
She was just so unconfrontational and, nice and caring, and I think that he took advantage of that, and it can happen to anybody. She did everything right. She took all the right steps, but sometimes that's just not enough.
Authorities say Anderson planned for weeks to kill Miller, her parents, and then take their child.
Nova was her world, and she wanted a better life for her and Nova and was trying to get away. It's just crazy to think that he would want to take that away from her and didn't think about her in the process of any of this.
As dozens of Miller's loved ones gather to mourn, extra security measures in place, with Anderson still on the run.
It's terrifying, It's terrifying that he's still out there. It's terrifying for, our entire family. It's still shocking. We're still grieving. Still, we play scenarios in our mind. We try to put the puzzle together. Nothing makes sense. He could be anywhere.
Grieving while also seeking justice for Hannah.
Please turn yourself in and just make it better on your daughter. She didn't deserve this, and neither did Hannah. Just think of her, please, and just do the right thing.
Trying to wrap their heads around how their beloved daughter, friend, mom, and cousin is gone.
I think he's being a coward, and to do the right thing and give this family closure, and especially for his daughter. Life is going to live through Nova, and we're going to make sure that she knows how great her mom was.
Now, if you or someone you know is in an abusive relationship, there are resources available. Call 1-800-799-SAFE for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. That's 1-800-799-SAFE. The other suspect in Miller's murder has been scheduled for a competency hearing. Authorities say Seth Wakefield knew for days that Christopher Anderson wanted to kill Hannah Miller. He's been charged as a party to the alleged murder. A competency hearing is now set for August 5th.